I'm kind of feeling a transitional period is happening. Like things are moving really fast. But because they're moving really fast, they almost look like they're not moving at all. And I can feel it when I'm out, always meditate long. But when I joined a meditation group once, and it was so weird. I mean, like that meditation group was it was almost, I mean, I don't know how to describe it. We went to like a somewhere like a Buddhist center. It wasn't a Buddhist center meditation group. It was a transcendental uh no, it wasn't. There were people who also do transcendental meditation. It was a group of people, maybe 30 people, get together, sit in a circle, and someone guides it and says stop, and they stop. Everything stops. So you meditate for 30 minutes. And honestly, that 30 minutes used to just go like this for me. And I could feel myself so silent and so quiet. It's like I became those times I became like a black hole that's absorbing and diffusing and just swallowing all the energy and everything that's in my head and around me, and beautiful silence, quietness. I think a few times people who sit around next to me told me, like, gave me this kind of feedback about me, like sitting next to me makes them meditate easier, better, and it's so quiet around me. And I thought, oh, thank you, because that's how I feel about myself. But then there is this thing, like afterwards or before, everybody speak out their experiences, what they think, and I was listening to them, and it was generally about something in the past, and they just can't forget about it. They can't they just keep living the same thing and over again, and they're trying they're just trying to shut it down, shut it off, and don't think about it, ignore it. And I'm learning now, and I didn't have that skill then, uh, to uh, raise my opinions, like, and I did it a few times, like, but why are you shutting it down? Why are you going away from it? Like, obviously, there's something there. What is asking you to deal with it? Go back, go back in time. Live that moment again if you need to, but try to live it from a different perspectives. But try to cover it up and say like, oh, it was all their fault, or it was all my fault. Whatever it is that you're saying, it's like get the fault out of your dictionary and try to understand that moment. Um, Blaming that thing that happened is not going to sort it out for you. Things like that. And I felt the room every time I spoke. I felt the room just go quiet, and I didn't feel welcomed. Or now I'm looking at it, and it's not that I wasn't welcomed. I just didn't know the social norms about not talking about these things and giving people time to realize and figure it out altogether. um, and everyone is at a different stage in their lives. Some people know better than the others about some things, like um, and also with a wimp of an inspiration. Like sometimes I'm a great cook, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I like follow a recipe and it still tastes not good. It's like it's also some people give their heart in it and they don't notice that they're doing it, and it's wonderful. So there's all these different skills that people have, And when we sit all together in a quiet moment, I think we share that skills. So last night I did a meditation with Mathias Stefano, and which when he was doing, I met him, not like personally. He doesn't know about me. It's like totally not. So he was, I think, during lockdown. He did third, like 1 year every day meditation, and like it was like classes, lessons, explanations, homeworks, meditations every day, and the sessions were generally an hour and a half long, sometimes I guess 2 hours long, and I was there every day. How many days in a year? Like 365 days. He did it every day, and I followed him every day, and it was the most liberating thing. And I think during that time I went to Turkey and for a few months, and it was so difficult. I find it so hard there to explain it to people. Like, I really need to take this time. I am following something. Like, I'm learning and I'm benefiting. And people thought I'm in a cult because I'm listening to someone and meditating. Uh, so what? It's like a cult of meditation. Uh, I think yes. So I mean, if you're out there and listening to this, I highly suggest, recommend you. If you want to understand more about yourself, if you believe in him or not, it's it's a different perspective about life and universe and yourself, your emotions, your ancestors, the all all things that is happening. It's a very different way of looking at it, and having a 20 minutes 30 minutes meditation at the end is just one of the best things. So I did one of those meditations yesterday because now I think he has a master class. I don't I'm not I haven't purchased it, but he is just sending out free 1 day of it, and I did that last night, and or daytime, and it was about destiny. He's talking about like what we think is a destiny is a pattern of what has been lived before us. Then he talks about 3 points, like building a triangle, and it's the feeling, it's the spirit, soul, and body, feeling, thinking, acting, and the coherence in between them, and also our ancestors are repeating the same patterns. So when we think that we have free will, we actually in somehow feel like the point that we want to go, we point that we are driven to go, may not even be the point that we are actually pointing out. Like, it's it's and just because I found myself driven from very powerful instincts and powerful desires of doing something and doing a particular action, and also on the contrary, I hear these strong impulsive voices and fears about what life and what I should be doing. And sometimes I feel like I am lost in between them, and and I start looking around me just to find something to grab hold on to. It's like, but when you are in a confusion state, the signs are not there. All the thinking is not clear because it's clouded with so many other emotions and other people's opinions, especially your very close ones, your parents or extended parents and or extended family, how they treated you, how they what they thought about you, you know, and how much they didn't see you. and all these validations that you've been looking for and you didn't get becomes the reality because you're not centered and coherent. And is it making sense? And and it, his idea was, of course, we create our own destiny, but do we really? How to look at it, and is it is it that we're trying to fulfill an opinion, an idea, and a desire that's been passed on to us from our ancestral lineage, or those fears passed on to us, or how can we change it? He was saying the destiny is moving from the point you are. And he was giving this like a exercises of just go where you want to go from a different path in your daily life. So just to rewire your thinking system, thinking way again. So that's what I did. I walked. I didn't walk home actually. I drove halfway, and I took a different turn and stopped. And I started walking around randomly, and I found this like a huge old mansion, and it looks so empty. It's like this uh, garden with like Amazon trees in it. Um, so I went inside, and the huge mansion looked like it was something out of a Roman Empire palace. And it had this balcony all out of stone. It's like a house carved out of stone, and it's so derelict. And it had like a two empty fridge in its garden. It's that derelict. And it's like a huge balcony was something like you will give a ball and invite all the high society. I don't know. It's like in the movies, isn't it? Like a Marilyn Monroe will come, like that kind of. Marilyn Monroe will come with a glass of champagne in her hand and walk on that balcony and that and hold on to those giant Romanesque stone. Seriously, balcony walls, which has been carved with faces out of it, and she'll look at the moon with glory and have wonderful conversations with you. That's the house I found, and I got in there, just walking around in his garden. And someone I heard this guy coming from the outside, and he was so almost playful, and I thought he lost his dog. And I was just looking around, his dog must be around here. It's like, and he whistled like, yeah, definitely he lost his dog around here. And I said, I, and I said, do you know who lives here? Yeah, you know the man who lives here? I'm like, is someone living here? Like, so maybe you should get out because there's someone living here. Oh God, because like he can just come out of and just shot me with his shotgun or something. And I got out of there. But I was by just taking a different path. I was like, oh, I'll just go there and stop it. I had this experience now. And when I went back home, I looked at my place because that's why I'm here at my boyfriend, the half partner, whatever the name is, him, his place, because he's been in New York and Savannah, Georgia, in the States for a few weeks. So I'm just like doing readjustments into our living uh, places because I kind of want a non-internet and non-computer place. So that's what I'm doing. I'm creating a non-computer place in my place, and then like bringing my big computers and stuff here. So I went there. I had this like a huge table because I'm writing, right? and and it was in the other room, and I brought it in this room, and now it was just like a parallel to my kitchen, because I thought I can use the part. It's a big table. I can use some part of it as a helper for the kitchen, you know, just like, and the other part I can type and I can see, look around, I can write, I can look around and all this. And then suddenly I thought, you know what, this is just so stupid. I'm just trying to align everything. I'm just trying to put everything in parallel. But if I just do it diagonal, it suddenly created two rooms in one room, and when I'm typing it just opened up the whole part, and I'm still like looking outside, but I have this wall beautifully closed on my back, and it coves me and it gives me this safety feeling. You gotta have this safety feeling when you're doing something so your mind can be free. And I just did that, and I yeah, and I put some plants there, and it was like, oh my goodness. And it felt right. And when it feels right, it is right. So I think you should follow me if you've come this far.